I have a message to Morara Kebaso. You remember when God sent Moses to deliver the Israelites from Egypt? He didn't give him a lot of specific instructions. He just told him, go, I'll be with you. And Moses trusted God in that. He didn't tell him that he will have to part the Red Sea at some point. He didn't tell him that there'll be plagues. So I want to encourage you to continue doing this. Get well soon. Continue doing civic education. We are waiting for you, Kwa streets. We are waiting for you on the ground. And we are hoping that we will have as many as Morara Kebasos in this country to continue transforming this message. Things might look hard, difficult at this time. Don't worry. Ni kawaida. Trust in God. And we're asking Kenyans to pray for us. Pray for this journey because we have to transform this country. Kenya ni home. Na hakuna mahali tunaenda.
Wakati alikuwa anatuomba kura, alituambia mama mboga, boda boda atajua mambo yetu. Na kutoka siku hiyo sisi ni tumekuwa kunyanyazwa sisi wa mama wa mboga. Na alikuwa ametuahidi ya kwamba atatusaidia na atatuinua. Akasema bottom up. Kwa hivyo bottom up inamaanisha alikuwa anatuinua miguu juu, pesa zimwagike achukue.
Lakini mbona
mahali wamepeleka pesa? I'll tell you another one. Watoto wao. You talk about the father of ethnicity. Huyu tribalist. Watoto wao wanakuja Ulaya, wanasomea Ulaya, nyinyi mko huko, they are paid with bursaries. They are here in UK, we can tell you that. So we know what's going on and we cannot let it happen. Watu waanguke. Tuanguke nayo hata sisi tuko pamoja na sisi. We are angry as you are. Thank you so much for taking your time and educating the people. Educate each other, please. Thank you for giving me the platform. I'm as angry as you are, honestly.
I can see you are more bitter even than us.
Oh yeah.
You are feeling for the country. You are feeling for the country.
I am, and for our children. In the next 20 years. What I'm saying there, in the next 20 years, hakuna mtu mmoja hata huyo wao watakuwa hapo. 3/4 of them will be gone. They'll be dead. Sasa watakuwa mumwachia nini? It is true. You add, if somebody is 60, add 20 years. Ni wazee wagani wako 80s? Where are they? They will not be there. So anybody who is nearing 60, inchi ni yenyu. So muchukue viti, go MCA, go MPs, go wherever you think you can take it. It's all yours.
Great. Those are great submissions. And that's what we are standing for. Kenya ni home. Kenya is our business. Iwezi kuwa mtu sababu alipata hiyo kiti ya urais, sasa muogope, mjifiche chini ya maji. Kenya is our country. Let's stand out. Let's call a vice. A wrongdoing. There's no way we can praise someone who is stealing from us. You heard us say that you can't kill us and just say you are leading us. You kill our children. You kill our fellow comrades. You tell us again you are our president. How is that? Not practical. Members of parliament wasalimiwe. Venye mlikuwa mnafanya mbele. Wapewe salamu. Ronald, unasikia Ronald Lacho?
Mimi nakupongeza tu kazi unafanya mazee, unatupatia civic education mbaya. Tunakuget, tunakuappreciate. Niyo tu wale wa mama wako huko village wako wapi, wanafaa tu wapewe civic education, watu wajue tunaendelea Kenya na mambo itakuwa sawa. Unajua hii mambo yote watu unajua hawaelewi, kuna watu ambao hawana ufahamu mambo inaendelea, unaona. So ndo unaona
endelea, tunakusikia.
Ikifika election tuna make an informed decision, unaona. Lakini kitu sahihi mnafanya, mnatumia unaona, mnatoa sahihi wase vitu various things, unaona. Sahihi at least unaona light na vitu zimechange, unaona. compare na venye mambo ilikuwa hapa awali. Vitu zimechange. Hawa sasa hawezi kuja kutudanganya kila siku. Sasa hii watu wamejanjaruka. Sasa hii mtu anajua hii ni uongo, hii ni ukweli. Na tukiendelea hivi mambo itakuwa sawa. Jota mimi naweza testify since hizi vitu zitokea na watu wakwe wajanja sasa hii. Mimi hata mimi nilienda Huduma Center. Inaitwaje, nilienda hapo Nyayo House. Nikahudumiwa poa. Juu ya nini? Juu ya kuinject. Mlikuwa mmeinject. Sasa hivi wako na wanafanya kazi poa, yani unaona watu wako responsible. Wameanza at least kitambo ulikuwa unaweza enda msee manze, unaweza enda almost 3 months hakuna service, unaenda hakuna kuhudumiwa, unaenda kuko hivi. Lakini sasa at least tumeona kuna some changes, na tukiendelea hivi ndio mwanzo, na tukaze tu bro. Kwa sawa, mimi nakufuatilia ngatu sawa, show za venye unabonga uko poa kabisa. Mungu akusaidie. Ni hayo tu brother.
Asante sana bro. So guys, as we are standing for Kenya, this is our country. I know kuna Wakenya wengine hata hawezi ongea venye tuwazungumza, lakini they feel for the country. That's why there are others in the comment section. Wengine wanasema, hey, bwana, you can share this clip, you can share with a friend as we walk. Wengine najua mko hapa, kuna watu wenye wanatusupport saa zingine kuwa hapa live. Najua this live session saa zingine zinatumianga bundles. We use credit, we use of course bundles. Na unapata mtu anajitolea anasema bana, kesho nitakuweka hii live. Mimi mwenyewe nitakupatia bundles ya kuendeleza hiyo ujumbe venye watu waweze kupata ujumbe across the country. Wengine wana just provide gifts as we move on, and that's how you participate for people to have information across the country. Mtu asifikirie venye tuko hapa live hatuna kazi ya kufanya. Niko na kazi kama mimi nyingi sana ya kufanya, lakini I have to commit myself so that we tell people what is your right yako ni gani kikatiba. Unajua ukienda kwa duka kununua mkate, if you go to the shop to buy a bread, like in the morning ukiweka hapo uende kununua mkate, already ushalipa ushuru. Umelipa ushuru. Unajua Wakenya wengi wanafikiria ati watu wanalipa ushuru ni wale wako na makampuni, wale wenye wako employed, wale wako sector fulani. Ukienda kununua mkate kwa duka, already you are a taxpayer. Ile pesa ukikatwa hivi, ile pesa unalipa ya mkate, ushuru ishakatwa pale ndani. So you are a taxpayer. That's how you get to pay for your roads. That's how you get to pay for your water. That's how you get to pay for your electricity. That's how you get to pay these members of parliament, including William Ruto. Ile pesa wametuipia ndio hiyo tunasema. Ile ukinunua mkate, ule ushuru inakatwa ndio inaenda kwa serikali. So ikienda kwa serikali ndio pesa yetu wanatuipia. Hiyo ndio pesa tunazungumzia about. Unajua kuna Wakenya mayouth wanakaa chini wanasema, mimi sijaibiwa pesa. Pesa yako ya ushuru ni ile asubuhi ukiamka ukinunua mkate, ukinunua sukari, mafuta ya kupikia, ukinunua nguo, ukinunua chochote, you become a taxpayer. When you are a taxpayer, automatic wanachukuanga ile pesa to the government. Ndio inalipa mishahara yao. Ndio inalipa hii maneno zingine zenye tunasema kama mambo ya mishahara yao, barabara zinatengenezwa nini na nini. So badala wa kutengenezea barabara, badala waweke madawa kwa hospitali, badala waweke education systems work in the country, wanakula ile pesa, wanatuibia hiyo pesa, wanaenda kupeleka nchi zingine za nje. That's why Ruto decided again. That's why Ruto decided again once more to increase taxes to the people of Kenya. Hiyo increase taxes ndio wanaendelea kupata pesa nyingi kutoka kwetu. So guys, Wakenya mkaamka on 25th, mkasema tutaenda hiyo direction. Mr. Prezo, hatuwezi enda hiyo direction. Mkamkataza, lazima withdraw hiyo. So venye mlikataa yeye, chief ameleta wakora wake, ndio ameweka pale. Amekuja hii mambo ya Adani hii mambo ya airport, police, ameleta watu wake. Ni pesa zetu zinaendelea kutumika hapa kiorera. Kumbuka Ruto ataenda nyumbani. Atakuwa ameacha nchi level gani? Ikiwa state gani? That's why this is our concern. Sasa nyinyi mkilipwa, wale wachache wenye wametoka hapa wakisema eti Morara akisema hapa Ruto amekula pesa yetu. Ametoa pesa yetu ya taxes, amepeleka nje kwa account zake. Ameleta maproxy wake ndio wanani biashara. Wewe youth unalipwa tena pesa na mbunge shilingi 500, 300, unaenda kuchapa Morara. Akili yako inafanya kazi? Badala umwambie Morara sukuma mbele tutakupatia security. Wewe ndio unaamka na Ruto ametoa mpaka linda mama. Pesa ya mama. Linda mama kuna ile pesa ya uzee. Mama mwenye ako above 65 70 years kwenda juu. Hao watu hawezi fanya kazi. Hawezi enda kazi yote kufanya. Hata unaweza pata watoto wao wamewaabandon, hawawapatia hata providing chochote, wameenda mahali wameenda. Huyo mama ana kitu ya kukula. Kibaki alionelea hiyo pesa iwekwe ya kina mama wazee na au baba wazee. Waende pale kwa banki wanatoa ile pesa 7,000 at least, ni pesa inaweza wa sustain 7 to 10,000. Ukipata mama unajua ana matumizi mingi, mama wa hiyo miaka. Hiyo pesa anaweza tumia kidogo kidogo, na yao venye wamama wana operate. Ruto amekuja ameona hiyo kitu haina maana yoyote. Amekuja hapa anaiondoa tu. Kazi kwa vijana mitaani ile yenye ilikuwa imeletwa na Uhuru Kenyatta akatoa. Juzi nyinyi mmeona hapa kuna mzee ameenda mpaka kwa hospitali. Akaenda na kadi yake ya NHIF. Akaenda kufanyiwa dialysis. Alipofika kule huyo mzee anaangaliwa mambo ya kansa. And then ile kadi ndio inamsaidia. Anafika pale akamwambia hii mama kadi yako haiwezi kusaidia. Wewe mzee kadi yako haiwezi kukusaidia. Lazima utupatie pesa. Sasa weekly ukicha hapa lazima ulipe 7,000. Guy, my God. Then what is the government doing? Hiyo ndio pesa wametoa pale usikasudi ameenda kutengeneza mahoteli kubwa. Ndio pesa Murkomen alipatikana nayo pale nje Dubai. 200 million. Akipeana. Ndio pesa watu wametoa hapa wameenda kuweka kwa nchi zingine huko nje. So someone is coming to tell us we just sit down, we shut our mouths. Is that the way?
Because at one point, me I believe, kama una deal na someone who is very rogue, at one point you also have to be rogue, don't match. Because you can't tell me wao wanaweza lipa magoons wakuje watupige leader wetu while we cannot retaliate. Because what is moja tutapata off guard, lazima tuonyesha hata pia sisi ni wale wase. But we can't do this without a very stable and organized team. Kama ni finances tunataka contribute, tunajua inaenda pale fulani. Now communication team iko pale, my boys pia wako hivi chini kwa ground. Ulisema hiyo kitu jana and like to insist on it. Kama tuna proceed tukijua team yetu iko ABCD. Then kutoka hapo then tunaleta strategies zetu.
I think kuna kitu tumekuwa tukidiscuss, watu wanasema Morara out of the goons, nikasema no, because we have to be transparent. That's why kuna suggestion hata nimeenda kwa discussions zingine, nimeambia watu kwani hatuwezi pata kama ni G4S, kama security, kama yenye unaweza trace to, hatuwezi tafuta goons. These people criminal themselves. The politician who are criminal and they are paying wanalipa watu wataki easy. Now this is a government that we need like transparency. We don't want criminal like you don't want to live with the goons and the party political party from Morara. This is a different issue. This is a different. That's why even now kama Morara anaweza sikia usiende kwa participation. Sasa hii ni withdraw, usiende to let's just do our thing apart from going to bombers, you know, because that was like it was so disappointing nikiona Morara anarushiwa viti hivyo na watu wengine wenye watafikiri. We've come a long way to just like you know, kuna unajua Morara anafanya vitu mingi to educate na inject vitu mingi mpaka, you know, we have to realize that this is different. We can't risk a person like him. Samuel will change, which is very disappointing. It's very disappointing. When I look at him, I don't want to see it. Tuambie haki magoons yenye tunasema ugope mtu aende afight magoons wengine, hatuwezi kuwa tunaendelea mbele. Taka Morara akwe clean, imana corruption. After suggestion, I think we need to discuss this platform and we understand.
Ray, it's your mic, but let me correct something.
Yeah.
I think mwenye aliweka hiyo statement aliweka hakuwa anamaanisha kuwa ni vijana goons. Unajua when you are a politician, there is a way the boys, the men in black who covers you, at least wakipatana na wengine wenye wamepangwa pande ile nyingine, kuna ile venye wanaibika, wewe ni mwenzetu bwana, unataka kutufanyia nini? Kutuliza ile pressure. So in any person who is a leader, kuna vijana kidogo unakuwa nao wanakusindikiza mkielekea mahali fulani. In that process is how you'll go. For example, Morara angekuwa na police, for example, ndio security wake. Unajua ita create rebellion between the police and the people. Lakini kama ni wale vijana anatembea na wao, kuna vijana wanaweza ongelesha vijana wengine. Nyinyi bwana tujoin hapa tuende. Huyu ni mtu wetu. Katika hiyo harakati, you go people as you walk. I think lakini tukienda places kama functions, it's also important that Morara should not be alone. There must be some guys who joins Morara in those functions. Sasa unajua kuna saa zingine fujo kama hiyo kitokea, vijana wanaweza gongwa wenye wako karibu na Morara for them to secure huyo Morara wetu as we move. That is the essence of having these boys surround you.
That's good. Wow, that's very good. I understand. Because even the TikTokers, like, the people, you can just, the people, the TikTok, the people around you, the friends, you can just move like, munaenda pamoja. That's why mko group. Itakuwa ngumu sana kuattack.
Sasa kama jana tungekuwa tumefika mapema, kama jana tungekuwa tumefika huko mapema kabla Morara afike, tutangulie kwa ile ground ndani. Morara akiingia tusimame sisi wote na tumreceive sisi wote in general. Ile story ingekuwa pala ingeenda hiyo direction venye ilienda. Kwambi B. Hi, karibu sana.
Asante. So nice to join this space. My name is Kwambi Ongoria. I am actually in the US, but I've been following very closely. I am so proud of what you guys are doing. I was so sad to see what happened to Morara yesterday. But I have to add on to what Ashanda was saying about getting security and them scanning the area before he comes. I was disappointed that people did not... the youth did not run down and try to help him. It looks like the people now as security are trained. They were all ducking with him. He needs people who can step up and be ready to protect him for everything. I was on another space yesterday and somebody was saying that there's some retired GSU who are willing to come on and help protect Morara, but they want to be paid. Yo sio shida. This is what to step in, we will help because Kenya ni home. It doesn't matter where we are all paying attention and we are all tired of how our country has been run down. Alafu, hiyo maneno ya goon that guy was talking about, we use the word goon in a way to scare them, not because we are really going to hire thugs. We're going to hire people who are trained the same way the others are trained, and hopefully that will deter them and get them to stop doing what it is that they're doing. Gen Z imeonyesha hii serikali that it's a new playbook and they're scared. And as we go changing our move with everything that's going on, they will be afraid, they will not know where we are coming from, and that's how we are going to win. So, Morara needs to keep doing what he's doing, but in a safe manner, because we do want him to eventually end up there and represent us. And hopefully Kenya will change and all of us can come back home knowing there's jobs, there's, a way of making a living. Nobody wants to stay away from home. It's only, we are out here looking for a livelihood. And as we are here, we worry about our own people. How many generations have graduated without work? Now, wamekalia billions in their pocket. Like, watu hawana utu. You don't feel for other people's kids. This is shameless, But Gen Z of Kenya has made, I don't even know what to call it. The whole of the world is looking at Kenyan Gen Z. They have changed a lot. You people have power. I'm a millennial. And I watch you guys and I see you guys are not buying into the fear as guys were sold to by our Gen X parents. So stay the course, support our guy. We're supporting you guys from back here and together we'll make this work.
These guys removed. What are we doing about it? It's not about just prayer. Faith without action is dead. Those are my thoughts. Food for thought, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Afro, who gave me the mic.
Thank you so much, data activist. Data. I agree with you. We need to support the activists who are fronting their names. And guys, you need to understand that Kenyans are very intelligent, especially this generation. Musifikirie that the gimmicks, usifikirie ni wewe peke yako unaona game. Wase wengine wanajua hii game inaendeleaje. Don't think that if Morara is a plant, example, I don't believe, but I support Morara. Wait, musinikujie. I support him. Let's say, example, Morara is a plant. Amewekwa hapa na Ruto to confuse 2027 ikikuja aseme wase tuingie UDA. Boss, you see what has happened to Kasmuel today? The same thing will happen to Morara. Like the ground will detach automatically. So we have to position in ourselves that if something genuine is arising from the ground, let's say one of us, like that activist or Mkenya Daima, is genuinely rising, we have to support them to the point wakituruka, then their fate is sealed. But if they are the true, they embody what we aspire, what we hope for, and the Kenya we want, then let us not lose these shining stars amongst us who can do a better job than the leaders we have today. That's the only reservation I have for everyone here, everyone who has that bunker mentality, like anyone who is doing anything, wani ametumwa na gava, unu mtu wa Ruto, hapana unu mtu wa gava. Like no, manze, if their behavior is consistent with what the movement is preaching about good governance, transparency, accountability, and the exposing what the government is doing. We are all doing, we're all doing hosting spaces, going on the ground, kupigwa risasi, najilipia hospital fee, like we're all volunteering. It takes time. Kwanza hizi barua za Adani ni kama 50. When are you going to read those things and be productive at work? Everyone is volunteering to understand the deals that are going under the government. So let's pay each other some slack, support each other, and be there for each other. Mkenya Daima, karibu kwenye space, mic ni yako.
Okay, thank you, Afro. Before I speak on what I wanted to speak on, I will light on a few things. So there are some Kenyans who are stuck in Lebanon, and through some friends, we've been able to organize for a way that they can be evacuated. Yes, there is a little bit of stand down right now that the jets are not getting there, but there is a way through Cyprus, So what I'm requesting is, if you know a Kenyan who is in Lebanon, or you know a family member mwenye ako in Lebanon, you can just you can hit my DM, and we are going to reach out. So I think you understand the crisis that is ongoing on Lebanon. So whichever way they've been able to reach out to you, I know we are having things that are ongoing in the country right now. But again, we are one people. So if a Kenyan is suffering somewhere, whether in Lebanon or anywhere, that's our pain. We also share in that grief. So if you know a Kenyan who is stuck there, kindly just send me their name and their WhatsApp, and that's all I'll be requesting from you. Yeah, we've been getting several Kenyans, and we also trying to reach out to them, know where they are, and we are trying now to organize how they be moved from there. Earlier plans were a little bit disappointed when they did a shutdown of the airspace, but there is a way through the boats to Cyprus. Then we fly them from Cyprus. So yeah. That was one of the things that I wanted to mention before I speak about. I put my voice in this, so I will insist on a few things. One thing is, what do we have a consensus on? What do we have a consensus on? Do we have a consensus on we need to share? Those are things that are killing us at the moment as Kenyans. Do we have a consensus that Adani, it is killing us at the moment? So when we have such a consensus, then when we are moving forward, even when we are voicing our voice, even when we are sending our message, it should reflect on the issues that we have a consensus on, the issues that are urgent to us. The top issue that is urgent to us, we know it's Ruto must go, but again, we need to stop the bleeding. And we need to stop the bleeding through which ways does Ruto enrich himself so that he can have muscles to be able to battle us in 2027. So one thing you realize that it's through the deals that he's trying to cut. Remember, he can't steal any more taxes because all those loopholes tunaendelea kuziseal. Right now he's trying to sell all the state resources to make sure that he has enough. So all I can request you guys is, let's have a consensus. Let's know where we are going. The issue of Rigathi, the issue of Nani, I don't think that's something. If Ruto woke up and shot Rigathi, I can tell you for free, here in Sekuru, Mkenya Daima would never lose sleep. I would never. If Rigathi decided to go to Ruto's place and, behead him, that is not something that would concern me. But I think it concerns us the moment I'm getting a call, hey, Niaje Mkenya, akitu top up 9,000, maze hapa story ya dialysis imefail. And you're not going to get that call alone. You're going to get like 10 calls. Where you're going to get 90,000 in the morning, or even 70,000 for all this, you get, then you look at the Adani and you look at the effect that it has. We have some of the people who are buddies. They've been fed with their families working at KAA. You get, you waking up and the guy telling you, my mom's lost the job. And what's happening? A lot is happening at the airports and a lot. So we need to put our issues in order. We need to understand our priorities. And then when we are putting our message in, we can understand this is what really affects us. If we can't allow the political class to dictate the conversation that we have every day, the action that we take every day, because that's how they are able to win. That's how they are able to make sure that we do not concentrate on Kinadani. They continue stealing from us. We do not concentrate on the schemes that they introduce. And it's not like they are stupid. They understand these are schemes because they introduced that, and before it's been fought in the court and everything, they've collected the 60 billion that the one they did in the housing levy. It's unconstitutional and it's illegal, but they still do that. But because we are caught in too many dramas, then we end up losing. So I appreciate the consensusness that has been there from before, whereby we would sit on a space, and when we sit on a space, we are just focusing on the issues. I know there is someone who put out something like, yes, we need the aspect of mobilization and we need the aspect of organization. The organizational structures are good for the long term, and mobilization structure is good for the short term. But right now, most of the things that we are doing, we are trying to stop the bleeding. So mobilization aspects and the street actions are still the answers to especially what is happening. While the good thing is these things can coexist. If you guys want to do the organizational structures and continue establishing the structures, guys, go ahead and do that. Don't be discouraged. You get, I don't understand this kind of discouragement. Go ahead. You want to form a party, guys, form parties. I only know of like 3 parties now from like the Gen Zs. I know the one for Buka. I know the one for Kina Lavania, and they are doing an amazing job. And I know the one for Kina Morara now, the latest one, the Inject party. You get, so guys, go ahead, do all that. But again, we need to have consensus on the things, because if what is affecting us right now is Shah, Shif, and Adani, because if one cluster is doing something, if Afro is lost in a space, we are going to come to that space as, to put our energies there so that we can amplify the message. If Kenya Daima is doing civic education, we are also going to support that. Working in clusters brings the amorphous nature into the movement, so that if you attack Kenya Daima, you've only attacked Kenya Daima. The movement is strong. If you manage to infiltrate Kasmuel, it's just Kasmuel you've infiltrated. You get, so those are some of the aspects I'm expecting us to be. But when it comes to consensusness, if today Morara starts a party, the Inject party, we are going to support the party. If Kinabuka starts a party, we are going to support it. It's not like we have an affiliation. I don't have an affiliation to Morara, but what he's doing, I know, is bringing an organizational structure. What Kina Lavania are doing by having that party they have over there is also bringing an organizational structure. We can work in those clusters, because when we work in clusters, if you will manage to infiltrate Afro, we'll be able to read it straight away. Infiltrate Afro, we can always get another space host and we can be doing the spaces there. It is just one cluster that is infiltrated. So that is something that I want to insist. So let's get our priorities right, so that when we agree, what are our priorities? Our priorities are the Chief and the Shah. So our messaging should somehow be on that. But if what is pressing us is this, and then we wake up in the morning, tunaongea sasa twende impeachment ya Gachagua, twende sijui this, twende Sekuru kuna party and all, that will be a distraction. That in my view would be more of like a distraction to what the consensus has agreed on. So there is no formula to this, and we are all young people. We are also learning. We are also new to some of the aspects of the governance. So sometimes tusijue na pressure. There are so many things that we are going to get wrong, especially even we got so many things with the spaces when the spaces started. And we are in a learning process. So sometimes tukikosea, it's okay. I like the action that we are taking. If someone messes up, there is no God in this movement. Mkenya Daima akijisikia sukari sana and he thinks like he's the sugar in this movement, tunamtema tu immediately na tunasahau, and we focus on what we are agreeing on. So without belaboring the points, I'm just going to remind you, if you have your family member or you know someone who is stuck in Lebanon, kindly reach out to my DM with their details. We've been organizing their evacuations for the last 1 week, 2 to 3 weeks there. A lot has been happening. But yeah, so kindly reach out to my DM and we'll be able to help. Thank you, Afro, for the mic.
I'm going to try to be very brief. My opinion that I'm going to share is really very controversial, but just bear with me. That's who I am. I would just like to request that there are people, of course, who have put themselves at the front line. And really, nobody is perfect. Morara is not perfect. Caswell is not perfect. And I feel like we're concentrating more on their weaknesses, but not on their strengths. The government that we are fighting is a rogue government. So what do we need? Strict and book smart people. So the moment we see something wrong on our people and we keep shouting, I keep citing Vikings. You have somebody and their shield is broken and they're at the front and you're there going, the shield is broken. So the enemy is listening to that, and the enemy is actually also really putting them on the spotlight. But what we are doing at the moment is currently just tearing them down. They don't know it's their first time. Actually, the reason why they're out there is because the government has failed, and there is, as we speak, a vacuum. You know, if the government was doing everything right, or even 80%, we wouldn't have these people out there. So I'd like to really just highlight out there that nobody can get it the very first time, the right, in the right way. And of course, there are people, there are veterans in politics who are going to pull them aside and tell them, hey, can you do this for us? This is the right direction. So they're listening to these people. They're listening to the enemy, but they're also listening to you, to us. We are not helping them if we are fighting them all the time. I mean, we can call them, like somebody said, let's talk behind the tent. Let's do that. So we have two people that I don't want to really conflict further and say, well, these are the leaders, but these are two who have put themselves at the front line there. Now we need a third one, and probably as a fourth one. We need to have diversity because, there are things that are playing at the background. You will never know what is going on. So when you put your eggs in one basket, you're going to be coming here screaming and saying, well, but he did something else. This is not what we agreed on. We should really also learn that politics sometimes is about, making compromises. I will tell you, I've seen two strengths. I've seen a serious strength in Morara. I've also seen a serious strength in Caswell, and we need to combine forces. This is what I want to say. And after I don't want to take a lot of time, yes, I just want to really, I understand that people are very, very upset, and this is because you're not getting your needs are not being addressed. But in the beginning of the movement, I and other people said the power you have is really being tribeless. As you see, they're pulling the tribe card again. When they brought in Raila, they say, whoa, Nyanza is in. Now Gachagua, don't touch the mountain. Mudavadi is in there, and Mutangala. So guys, if you want to fight, and I'll repeat it once again, the tribalism has to go. It's the biggest factor, but these people factor in, and it works every other day. So let's just work towards that, and let's just have some more patience, because really, even the guys who go out there and want to do something, it's not like they're prepared. It's really just their first time. So let's also, it's a battlefield that you do not prepare for, but you're in there. And remember, you're in the battlefield. You have no business fighting somebody who's trying to really fight for you. Well, I know it's complicated, but you really just, let's try not to weigh them down, because by the end of the day, if you do that, Ruto is probably just before he goes to bed, checks the timeline and say, oh, wow, yes, that's working out very nicely. So lastly, one thing insight I want to just share, the impeachment motion is a serious distraction. It's not going to happen. Yeah, and if it happens, then the replacement must come from the central Kenya. If the government is clever, if it goes to another region, they actually lose the next election. So I think that's a distraction we need to avoid. And so just finally, I would like to really just encourage, no matter the dissatisfaction that people have with the government. We have a rogue government here. We have criminals here. We have bandits out there. You want to send only street people to fight the bandits? We need even the movement. We need people who are street smart. So combine all of that. And yes, as we combine, the diaspora is also really out there. And thanks, Afro. Thanks everyone else from the diaspora. And so the Dutch diaspora is organizing a demonstration around the Maandamano Day. Look, I think I pinned the tweet. Do share it. And that is how we show also our resistance from here. We did that during the visit where Ruto came to Germany. We also, went in there and represented the fallen heroes. Yeah, so let's keep fighting. Let's not use our energy to fight the people who are out there trying to fight. They are going to buy people. They try to reach out to many people, be inclusive. So really, guys, just look at it from that point of what do you want to get and get that. And don't tear yourself apart because of billionaires. That doesn't look good. Thank you so much, Afro and everyone. And it was a pleasure joining you guys. I give back the mic to Afro.
Thank you so much, Marge, for your submission. I agree and support everything you say. Marge, before you drop, I have a question for Marge. How can you encourage diasporans to keep on giving resources, time, efforts to the movement when some key figures? I saw a tweet that was very divisive. And one thing I've been trying to, people listen to the tone or the language. Anything that tries to divide us on tribe, on ageism, tries to separate this generation and this generation. Today there was a lot of Kikuyu and Kalenjin versus Luo, and like things we don't even subscribe to. That's how you know we're being infiltrated. I like our conversation is being. Who speaks like that in Gen Z? On the tribe, we're trying to be. There's a classism also going on. So whatever, and also religion. Anyone who's trying to divide us, because these are ways we can divide it. Diaspora versus local Kenyans. So many ways you can be divided. We can be diced, because when we get diced and sliced, then they rule. And once you can understand, like, this is the card they are playing, then it is very easy for us to dismiss those voices. Because, don't get me wrong, a community's or a nation's most articulate voices define what happens. They define the status quo, like whatever. They define whatever is in everyone's consciousness, the community consciousness. You can think that there are so many people who are supporting Ruto. Kumbe, Ruto has just paid one person in Inoro FM, another person in Capital FM, another person on Space. And you just think, we have lost. Kumbe wamelipwa. So Marge, in closing, how can diaspora keep up the support and keep on pushing despite discouragements which are coming in?
Yes, thanks for the very important question. I'd like to really state that diaspora has played a huge role and will keep playing a huge role in the future. So as we speak now, the diaspora actually delivered a win to Azimio during the last elections. And in as much as that win was very small, because we were not registered, there was not so many people registered because we were not voting everywhere, registering in every embassy. That's why the number was small. But still, that win had an impact. Why? When Ruto was coming to Germany, he had to come with Baba, because Baba and Martha are the winners of the diaspora currently. So Baba had to sweep clean before, Ruto speaks, and even at the I think you guys saw in YouTube. So in the US too, they were there. Of course, they're still campaigning together, but just so that you understand, at least for those who don't understand the impact. Now, a lot of diasporans are really keen on helping. But the government on the other side is also keen on ensuring that diasporans don't get their rights to voting implemented as such, because they know, the government knows, not only this one, but even the previous ones, that the diaspora is going to not vote in tribal lines, but, they're going to look at different criteria. Now, we are currently really just observing and helping. We will keep helping. I will not say that we are 100%, clean. Of course, there are a few people in the diaspora who are also, following their own, agendas that we cannot, deny. But the majority of diasporans are keen to help change, bring positive change, because, and the reason why you saw even last time people coming out during the finance bill to protest is because it also affected them directly. So what affects you in Kenya affects also your diasporan relative, even the diasporans who are not your relatives, because if there's corruption, we cannot invest there. We take our money somewhere else. So we will keep helping because we want to help our motherland. We have a wave of right-wing, growing stronger in Europe. So we need to protect our home, Kenya. So the division that's coming, or the tweets that you're talking about, Afro, we cannot tell the motivation, but we want to say that we will stay above it and try to look at, how can we ensure that many people get further access to education? If, for example, the bilateral, agreement between Germany and Kenya is being mentioned, we as diasporans want to tell them also the negatives about these bilateral agreement, but also then the positives too, and then make sure that they go back to their countries and help. So we want to really keep developing our country too, because we cannot only be developing the developed countries already. So no, the diaspora will not feel intimidated or divided by any people out there. Currently, that's why I'm telling you guys, pitch yourself there. So Morara currently, and if you're listening, you're doing a good job. Has also a huge support base in the diaspora. We have Kasmal also has a huge diaspora support. We're going to support you people. We're going to support those who are coming up to try to push for change. So don't feel intimidated. Just be true to yourself and just don't really put all your hopes on somebody. Don't let it be like when I pick the microphone, I have to speak exactly what you want to hear. When I say something different, a little different, it's also okay. It's democracy. Just look at any other things that I said which would work for the Republic, which would work for good governance. So we're in there for good governance. We haven't given up. We'll ask you not to give up. And finally, this is really draining. I'd like to tell everyone to try to take a break, because we have an alternative. But if I was living in Kenya, I would be crying every day, because the government has made it, a task of the citizens to defend themselves every day. Every day, that's how much this government hates the people. It's horrible. And this is the anger that you see, that people are really just abusing it. It's just the anger. So try to have a break from all these, some time out from internet, because otherwise guys can go crazy. Today was one of those days where I was thinking, oh my gosh, the internet, the timeline was just lighting it. No, guys, and you do not deserve this. It's your government putting you through this. Try to find some strategies to really manage and still be able to, defend and work hard for good governance, but nevertheless take care of your mental health and put bread on your table. And there's unemployment in Kenya. There are things like kufa dereva, kufa makanga, print t-shirts and sell. Make money off these goons. You have to make money off them. You see, that's the incentive you have as you fight, because it is going to take a little longer for them to change. No, you find something going on, print a t-shirt, print a printer, a key holder, something, just survive while we do all these things. And so, we are supporting. We'll keep supporting. and keep the good fight. Thank you, Afro, and back to you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Guys, let's remain unified in this fight for good governance, transparency, and accountability. I want to give the microphone to Sigrid Ukop.
So let me drop for someone, Afro, yeah, so that at least somebody else can get out. Okay.
Good. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Afro. It has been really long since I came back to X-Space to just give a view. I just wanted to say, I think we should treat each other with a little more grace. For some of us, I think I've stayed like a month or two without coming to X-Space. Because I don't know, there's some video of some guy who was trying to explain to Kenyans what the movement meant for us. And for some of us, it was like the last hope. And so when we started seeing people talking different languages, like some people went into depression. Some people, for some of us, it just hit us so bad, So we took a break. I think I'm coming to X-Space after just seeing the spirit of Kenyans today. I got a little bit happy and felt like, okay, let me go back to X and see what Kenyans are up to. I want to reiterate what other people have already talked about. Like, if you feel like you can do something, just go out to the streets and take these spaces. You see, it is easy for us to criticize people like Morara, for example, or even give an opinion about these people who are coming out. But you see, most of them, they came out on their own accord. Morara actually built himself. We saw this guy coming and talking on roads and doing something, and so if you feel like, for example, you're a leader or a politician or anything, why can't you just come out? Kenyans are going to support you. I swear, if you come out and show us what you've got, if you can also go to the streets and do what people like Morara are doing, you are creating a niche, You're creating a niche for your own self, and it doesn't matter whether you want to cash from it. Just go out. It will also help us so that these people don't feel like, okay, now we are over concentrating on this man. We want to have multiple voices, and not just on X-Spaces. We want to see people who, somebody already talked about different professions. So I know people are. People who are on agriculture, some on AI, some on tech. Just create a niche for yourself and say that, when people are talking about governance, this is my contribution. And when you push a little harder, this is a niche also you're creating for yourself. I want to also talk about the bombers thing. You see, when I say creating a niche, today, for example, we had Morara in the way these ODM goons were bullying. ODM goons were trying to create violence on this man who is harmless. But all of a sudden, there's this woman who just came and shut the hole and took the space and talked, And when we have people like that, Caroline Chepto, or what was her name, Chepto, and more like hundreds of people like that, people who are unexpected, people who go to surprise these politicians, they'll be shocked. They'll be like, okay, we thought it was Morara who was a problem. Kumbe, this thing is bigger than we thought, So that is the issue. If you feel like you have that confidence to be in public, go out. Go out. If you don't have a job, for example, and this courage is your thing, this politics is your thing, go out and create a niche. Kenyans are going to support you because, as people have talked about it, Kenyans want heroes. Kenyans are desperate for people who can create change. people who have active voices. So don't just sit there and say that, it is easier to criticize Morara and people like that. What are you doing? Go out there. We are going to support you. We are going to do what we can. We've been, personally, I've been contributing even to people like Morara and people who are coming out. And people here in the diaspora, they're doing that. They're contributing to Kenyans, But how will we contribute to you if you're just sitting and criticizing others? Go out, pick a niche. What do you have? What is your strength? Do you have the courage? Go out and help us bring Ruto and Gachagua down. I want to talk to the ODM goons. I know there are people here who are associated or who are friends of these people. It was a party that I had. I was a member of that party until this very last time that they took our space. I want to tell you people, and sorry, because sometimes I start conversations that are very difficult. I want to talk to my people from Luo Nyanza. Please don't allow this government to put this nonsense of, impeaching Gachagua to be a face of this. This is the same way they made us to be a face of BBI. This thing is not going to benefit our people. So if we didn't vote even for this government, what is it that now Ruto is coming to tell us that now this one is good and this one is bad? We don't know them. We didn't vote for them. If they are going to fight themselves, let them fight themselves and die there. We didn't vote for this bogus government. It is not part of us. If they are going to kill each other, that's their own problem. It's not our problem. Now you are coming to tell us now that now TJ Kajwang, I was so mad because TJ Kajwang, you are coming from a community that has been the biggest victims of political chaos. And somebody's child, a harmless boy, is being beaten and you're saying, piga. What the I was so mad. You guys, it is not our war. Like people from Luo Nyanza, please talk to the people in your villages. This is not your war. Let Ruto and Gachagua kill themselves if they want to. We didn't vote for them. We don't